Good evening, everybody. Sorry it took me an extra second to get on there. But good evening. 3 lives today, I know, right? That is insane. But I figured, we couldn't do our members only live tonight, so I wanted to at least come on and do this for you guys. So, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. It is great to see everybody again for the 3rd time. As you guys come in, if you could, please smash that like button. And if you appreciate today's case coverage, I really hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you want to join our channel membership, I did put it in the chat, and I will go ahead and link it in the chat again for you guys in just a moment. I do have subscribers only mode in the chat. That's just to help combat bots, spam, things like that. And lastly, thank you guys all for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming a 3rd time. And let me go ahead and get that in the chat really quick. I saw you guys have been talking about organizing, and that's my jam. I'd love to organize. I rather organize some stuff. That's like the most tedious thing to me, but I love doing that. So as we're waiting on some people to kind of come in, I didn't really, I didn't know if I was going to come on tonight. And then I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we are going to be discussing the Idaho 4. Specifically, we're going to be discussing the Idaho 4 victim, Xana Kernodle's mom, Cara. She's speaking out against attorney Ann Taylor. She was her attorney. So Ann Taylor was her attorney since 2017, I believe. And she dropped her to be Brian Kohlberger's attorney. Basically, that's, the gist of it. Cara, she is extremely upset by this. So we're going to go over her first interview, which we went over it earlier today in our live, but we followed the Alex Murdaugh trial. So it was just in the beginning of that live. So it wasn't in the, title or anything. So we're just going to go back over the first one again while we're waiting on part 2 to come out, because she is going to go back on Ashleigh Banfield tonight and do a second part of her interview. So I'm excited to hear what she has to say. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited. I don't know. It's just, I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see how I feel about it. So if you guys haven't seen Xana's mom before, she doesn't look very good. She is a drug addict, and you'll be able to tell by her appearance that she's still struggling with that, and hopefully maybe someday soon, hopefully she'll overcome that addiction, and she'll feel a little better and look a little better. But just try to be kind of nice in the comments, because she does look pretty rough. Let me see here. So we can go ahead and go over the first one. I will show you her charges, and I found a bunch of her charges. I was actually just like looking some stuff up before I came on, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'll share this with you. So this is her mother. This is going to be Xana Kernodle's mom, Cara Denise Kernodle. And this is so she's actually has a active warrant out for her arrest right now. So that's why I'm showing you this. So as of right now, she has an active warrant, and it's a felony warrant. I don't know what the possession of drugs were. I don't know what drugs they were, or if it was I don't know. It says possession of substance 1 and 2. I don't know if any of those were trafficking type offenses, or if it was possession of just like, a little bit of something, or if it was like a whole laboratory, you know what I mean? I don't know how that stuff works. If it was just, it looks like this has happened to her a lot, where she's gotten charged with things and then she's kind of ran from the law until she's had to go to court and had to go, like she'll get picked up for a warrant, like a bench warrant or a warrant. Bench warrants normally when you have a failure to appear at court. So she's been dealing with this for a while now. But I will say, like, if this woman looked better, like if she looked good in her, in her prime when she looked okay, I could see Xana in her. You know what I mean? Like, if this is like, I know Xana doesn't look nothing like this, but if she wasn't, on the sauce or whatever she's on, it hurts me, because you see all the pictures of Xana, and she was so happy and so full of life and so just the opposite. And there's some charges in there too. We'll go over them tomorrow, but there's some charges in there for like domestic violence and stuff like that. And so, yeah, we'll go over those. I think we're going to go over that tomorrow. But I did want to show you this before, you know. Oh, she had 70,000 fentanyl pills found on her. I couldn't get my whistle out good enough. Sorry, guys. But that's a lot. Wow. She had 70,000 fentanyl pills. Wow. See, I didn't know. I've been asking people too, Teresa. I'm like, does anyone know what she was caught with or what she had? So that was enough to get her the felony because trafficking. Okay, it makes sense now. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, that's a dealer. That's why she got the felony. And it wasn't just a misdemeanor with like a little bit. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I would have said like something else. I would have thought more like the lines of meth or something. I mean, no offense, but that's what I thought. But I think Xana does look like her mom if she wasn't, you know, if her mom wasn't like she is. But wow. So yeah, so okay, so we went over this. She is not locked up. Nope. She's on the run, but she's doing interviews with NewsNation. So, and I love NewsNation. Y'all know me. I mean, I haven't gotten you guys emojis for the members only. You guys got your Brian Eaton emoji and your Ashleigh Banfield emoji. But yeah, this is just kind of beyond my grip right here. So I went back through the interview today and I wrote some notes because y'all know me, I'm a notes person. And just some of this stuff, I don't know. Before I get into the interview, nothing that I say is supposed to mean anything bad on Xana's mom, Cara, or anything by any means. And it doesn't have anything to do with the drug thing or anything like that. Nothing that I observe has anything to do with that. I just don't want anyone to take offense if I pause it to say some stuff. So let's go ahead and play this. And this is from last night. So this is the first half of what Ashleigh Banfield is going to be talking about. She did an interview with her mom, with Cara, and this is the first half of the interview.
There have been conflicts of interest with attorneys for far less than this. I mean, let me give you an example. If you think that perhaps some point you want to divorce your spouse and you have a conversation with a couple of lawyers, your spouse can no longer retain any of those lawyers just because you had a conversation. So this woman, Cara Northington, whose daughter was violently murdered in Idaho, one of the Idaho 4, those 4 students killed in Moscow at the University of Idaho. She is now facing the reality that the person she trusted most with 4 of her cases is now representing her daughter's accused killer. Here's that conversation.
So, Cara, what was your first reaction when you learned that your former attorney is representing the man accused of killing your daughter?
I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because I trusted her. She pretended that she was wanting to help me, and to find that out that she's representing him, I can't even convey how betrayed I feel.
Have you had a chance to speak with her about this?
No, I haven't spoken with her. I found out through a friend who found it on Reddit.
So she found out on Reddit, through Reddit. Why didn't Ann Taylor's office come out and, call her and, say, hey, this is what's going on?
You found out through a friend through social media. You weren't notified by Ann Taylor, your attorney, herself?
Right now.
And have you tried to reach out to her?
No, I just found out today, literally. So, yeah.
So, just so many thoughts. It's so incredible that there is this connection. Are you going to?
Okay, so I am going to stop it there for just a second because she just said that she just found out today. But so I was looking at her records, and if you see, let me share this tab with you. If you see right here, this is her record. This is her online records. So she doesn't even have to go like into the courthouse or call or fax or smoke signal, none of that. She can get on a computer and look. And it says 1/5/2023 substitution of counsel. So since the first, it's been on her docket. My guess is that Ann Taylor maybe did contact her, or her legal office maybe did contact her, and maybe she didn't answer because she thought she was calling because of her active warrant. And she was like, oh, my lawyer's calling me. I'm on maybe probation. I have an active warrant. I'm not answering that. That to me sounds more plausible. Exactly. Especially, how did she just find out today when she should have known since 2 weeks ago? Brian's first court appearance or second court appearance, she was right beside him. You would think her mom would have been tuned in like white on rice. You know what I mean? Like glue on a stick or whatever. Like to the TV. Like, I want to see him and whatever. And then she would have been like, say, what? Isn't that my lawyer? Like, don't you think? I don't know. But it was just, it's getting me off a little bit. So, we'll go ahead and start playing it again, and we'll see what else I have.
Try to fight this at all?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Because as I understand it, this would require a waiver, something that you sign and that he would sign in order for her to go ahead and be able to do this legitimately. I can imagine the way your reaction is that you are not interested in signing a waiver to allow her to continue on.
Right, exactly. And I'd already given her power of attorney. I'd already signed over power of attorney so that she could help me with getting into rehab and whatnot. And so, I mean, I don't understand how she could do this. I don't understand what happens now. Does she still have power of attorney, or what goes on now?
And no one has reached out to you from the public defender's office to help you navigate.
Now, does anyone know if she's still power of attorney? Because see, I know a lot about power of attorneys, but my mom had a power of attorney, but it was my aunt. It wasn't another lawyer. So I don't know how that would be with a lawyer. I guess the lawyer would have to put it into another lawyer's hands. I mean, even, I guess because it's a public defender's office, she probably wouldn't have a whole lot of say in all that. Because it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, she was supposed to help her get into rehab and stuff. Your dad's a lawyer. We need your dad on here, Princess Megan Elsa. I have questions.
Navigate next steps.
No.
Have you been in communication with the police and prosecutors about the next step in this process and where you might fit in?
No.
And do you want that? Do you want to be in communication with them to understand what's happening and what they're going to be doing as they move forward in prosecuting him?
Oh, yeah.
No. She doesn't want communication with the police right now. She has an active warrant. Ashleigh Banfield skipped right over that. You know, she said, Ashleigh Banfield asked her, do you want communication between you and the police? Do you want to have that communication, you know? And she said, yep. Well, all of her actions are speaking nope. Because she could have a whole lot of communication. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to bash her or anything. Because she's, you know, a mother that just lost her child. But if she would just go and put herself in, you know, like turn herself in or whatever, she would be right with the police all the time. So she'd be getting clean, most likely. I know you can still get stuff in jails, but, you know, most likely. And she could be right with the police while they're actively going to court with this guy. It's just crazy. I don't know though. I can't say I wouldn't run because I might be scared too.
Yeah. Yes.
So no one has reached out to you.
No. Not the prosecutors anyway, no.
Who have you
Right.
spoken with?
I've honestly, just media has been getting a hold of me.
Do you feel like you're being left out of this process?
A little bit, yeah.
Had you ever heard the name Brian Koberger before?
No, I have not. No.
And do you know of any connection at all that he might have had with your daughter, Xana?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that she had any connection with him. He's quite a bit older than all of them, and all of their friends. Really, I mean, they didn't really hang out with a lot of older people. So,
Okay, I'm only going to stop at this one last time because that's another kind of lie. She did an interview when she first came on, like when Xana and this first happened. She did an interview where they asked her like simple questions. I mean, there's no other word about it. There's no other way around it. It was like, do you know what kind of car your daughter drives? She said no. Do you know what floor your daughter stayed on? No. Do you know what bedroom was hers? No. Do you know if she had a license plate from Arizona, because that's where she's from? Or did she switch it to an Idaho license plate? And her mom said no. She didn't know. So I don't know. I feel like she hasn't known a lot from the beginning. So I don't think that she's going to know, even if I don't think she would know if there was a connection. She wouldn't be a good person to ask on that. I'm really curious to see what she says tonight because I feel really bad for her. I hope she gets like the help that she needs. But who is she like? And then who's driving around with her? Like, I want to know who's in the car. Like, is she on her phone? It's just so weird to me. And then like there are some like I said, there are some things like on her, you know, in her details for her jails that says like domestic violence and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if that's against Xana's dad because it said like within the home, I believe. So, all right, I'll go ahead and play the rest of this for you. So because I gotta hurry, I guess. Not that much. Oh, we got plenty of time.
I don't know if they knew him or, I mean, they could have because he did attend school at WSU, which is another thing. My oldest daughter, Jasmine, attends school at WSU. And so the fact that the law enforcement knew who he was from the get-go and didn't warn us to keep Jasmine home from school, that just, I'm just beside myself.
And Jasmine was at WSU for the whole 7-week period.
Yes.
From the murders to the arrest, she was there the whole time.
Yes.
What's her reaction to this been?
I haven't spoken with her about it yet, but I mean, I can only imagine. You know, she was adamant about going to school. She wasn't going to let this keep her from going to school. But I think it would have been different had she known that Xana's killer was going to school with her.
From what you know, no connection that you know of anyway between Koberger and Xana. Do you think it's possible that he may have connected with Xana and Maddie through the Mad Greek restaurant where they worked?
That is a possibility. I mean, I'm sure they connected with a lot of people that way, and that could very well be how they connected with him.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't.
Okie dokie. So, we've got like 9 minutes. Cara was detained November 19th for the drug charges. Yeah, because I remember it was like 6 days. Yeah, 6 days after the murders. And $50,000 bonds. That would be $5,000 bail that she would have to put up. So that would be that's pretty hefty. I mean, 5,000 is pretty hefty. See, I heard that Robin's Nest, but I haven't seen anything else about Maddie's mom. And I mean, Xana's mom had two really good girls, Jasmine, her sister, and Xana, do you know, like, they're both are doing the right thing that they need to do. So it's one of those things that they must have lived in a rough house and they had to learn the hard way, and that's really sucks. Maddie's stepmother was represented by Aunt Taylor. Wow. That's crazy. Probably, signature bond. Yeah, I would say so. They would need collateral or 5,000 or both. Maybe someone will reach out and get her some help. I hope so. I can help her call places. I'm good at that. I'm good at calling places. I've had to do it for someone else that had to go to rehab. So someone very close to me, and they had to go. So it took 9 hours, but we got them in somewhere. Okay, I'll go ahead and put it on Spectrum so we don't miss it. Hopefully this isn't too loud when it goes on. Okay. Let's see. I always pass it. Okay. What time is it? Oh, we got like 7 minutes, so we have some time. If you guys haven't liked the video yet, if you guys could, please like the video. It does send it into the algorithm. More people will be able to come in and enjoy it. Also, the chat is subscriber only mode, but you only have to be subscribed for like 2 seconds. It just helps combat, bots and trolls and things like that. So we would love to hear your thoughts in the chat. We're super nice chat. So we'd love to have you. Also, if you're not from the Eastern Standard Time, or if you are, tell us where you're from, because that's where I'm from, Eastern Standard Time. But we have like so many people from so many different countries in here. It's always great to hear where everybody's from, even if you're from Ohio. I'd love to know, because then we might be neighbors. She had to check into probation. Yeah, she never did that. And I think that they put a bench warrant out because she never showed up for court. Or is she the one that had to check into probation, Maddie's stepmom? That's very true. That's very true. That's sad. Yeah, and even in the beginning, she didn't know a lot. I mean, like I said, they were asking her. I remember it was like simple questions, and I might pull it up tomorrow. Let me write that down. I don't know where my pen went, but yeah, maybe we can pull that up, because we're going to talk about a couple things tomorrow. And I wanted to bring up also Ethan's interviews. I wanted to go back through some of the older interviews, because I feel like some of those are really telling. Also, I want to talk about some of the other little things that have been floating around. So let's see. Watch live. He's almost over with. Okay. We'll just do this until she comes on. New Zealand. Oh, look at that. See, never been, but I've only been to Canada. That's it. Out of the country. Oh, Canada. See, there we go. Canada. PA here. Okay. So I'm an Eagles fan. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I'm Philly. When I was born in Philly, and I've always been an Eagles fan since I was a little girl. Since I literally was birthed. My dad was just like a football, you know. He didn't have any boys. I have a stepbrother, or he has a stepson, so I have a half brother, but he had just me. So for his biological child. So that's what he got stuck with. So I had to throw a lot of catch with him as a kid. You didn't miss the members only. We're going to do it another day. I have a surprise I want to show you guys, but we had to order something for the surprise. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but it is to me. Something I want to show you guys first. So, so we had to order new stuff. Basically, I'm getting a new camera, but that's not the surprise for you guys. That's the surprise for me. which I just got this new one in for Christmas. But we're moving on up. So, and I didn't even have to like, hit my 25,000 subscribers or whatever it was supposed to be. But I am still trying to get that Nancy cut out. So we are at, let's see. We are at 5892 right now. I'll share this tab with you really quick. We are going to be at 10,000 before you guys know it. So I feel like we will be anyway. I think we will. You live in New Mexico. You're a Ravens fan, though? Wisconsin. Oh, is it cold? Oh, I bet it's cold. Thank you. Yeah. Got some new stuff, and now we're getting some more new stuff, and it's nice getting new stuff. Oh, I guess we could listen to him talk about this.
Bryan Kohberger. No, she has a bizarre connection to Kohberger's lawyer that should really lead to a lot of questions. Kohberger's public defender, Ann Taylor, who we've seen in court with Kohberger, withdrew as the lawyer for Cara Northington, Xana's mother, when she agreed to take the Kohberger case. Yes, Kohberger's lawyer withdrew from her case to defend the man accused of killing her daughter. Her charges were filed on November 19th, just 6 days after her daughter's murder. After being charged with 2 felony counts of possession of a controlled substance, Taylor withdrew on January 5th, the day a judge appointed her as Kohberger's public defender for the murders of Xana, Madison, Kaylee, and Ethan. Now, Xana's mom spoke with Ashleigh about how she felt learning the news that her attorney had sort of switched sides, so to speak.
I'm heartbroken because I trusted her. She pretended that she was wanting to help me, and to find that out that she's representing him, I can't even convey how betrayed I feel.
Northington goes on to say that no one had notified her Taylor was no longer in her case, but she found out from a friend who saw it on Reddit. Says she hasn't signed any kind of formal waiver giving approval for the switch, and even says she'd given Taylor her power of attorney. Now, Taylor obviously made a choice here and withdrew from Xana's mother's case for the bigger case, Kohberger and the murder. Sure, small town, limited pool of public defenders, and even fewer who are qualified to handle a death penalty case. I get it. But it doesn't change the reality that a woman who trusted her attorney, who was depending on her attorney, was abandoned by her to instead represent the guy accused of killing her daughter. Why is that okay without her consent? Joining me now is Tim Kressback, a former Idaho public defender who served as death penalty qualified counsel in Idaho. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Real quick, any obligation on the lawyer's part to consult with the client about withdrawing from this kind of case?
Perhaps. I just don't think we know enough about that attorney-client relationship. I'm not even sure that Ann Taylor ever met with her or learned any confidences. And
that's not the way she's characterizing it.
The process will be played out. Dan, there's so much in this case that we don't know. Just a month ago, we were saying that the Moscow Police Department was the most incompetent police department in the country, and then a month later, hailed as geniuses. Let's let the process work.
I guess
I'm complaining about any conflict.
I was taking Mom at her word. I'm so sorry we didn't get more time with you. Thanks for joining us. More on Ashleigh Banfield right now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the program. You probably were just watching Dan Abrams, and I have a continuation of what Dan Abrams was just reporting. Yesterday, I had that exclusive interview with the mother of Xana Kernodle, and Cara Northington told us that she was devastated that her lawyer had dropped her to instead represent her daughter's accused killer, Bryan Kohberger. There was a lot to unpack there, the conflict of interest issues, et cetera, and there still is, and I suspect it will be. Tonight, we're going to talk about what she now says she wants to see happen to Bryan Kohberger. And that is a fascinating story in itself. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I'm also going to have a complete wrap up of the Murdaugh murder trial today. They brought out a gun in court. They brought out body cam video in court. They just wouldn't let us see the body cam. They let us hear it. And they're going to let us see it. And it is a key star witness in this case because the prosecutors say something just wasn't right about Alec Murdaugh the night his wife and son died. Prosecutors say that, but the defense says, how would you behave if your wife and son just died at someone else's hands? Going to get into that too. And then also this incredible story out of Memphis. 5 police officers charged today with second-degree murder in the beating death of someone they were trying to arrest. So what does the body cam there show? Because we are going to see it. And so far, all the officials involved have said when they saw it, they have nothing good to say. All of that is coming up ahead. First, I want to start, though, with that exclusive interview that we did with Xana Kernodle's mother, Cara Northington. Like I said yesterday, she said it's a conflict of interest. Not only is it that her lawyer dropped her for her daughter's accused killer, she said she was also my power of attorney, and now says she has no idea who's got control over her. She also says she wasn't even notified that the lawyer was dropping her. She instead learned from social media when her friend saw it and notified her. So as if that weren't a serious issue for Bryan Kohberger's attorney, Ann Taylor may have a bigger problem because it turns out she's also represented 2 other parents, which now makes 3 parents of those murder victims. Maddie Mogan's father, Ben Mogan, and Maddie Mogan's stepmom, Corey Hattrick Mogan, were also represented by this attorney. So think about this. Ann Taylor is representing Bryan Kohberger, but she also represented the parents of Maddie Mogan, the stepmom and the dad. And she also represented the mother of Xana Kernodle. If that isn't a conflict of interest in what very assuredly could end up a death penalty case, then I'm not so sure I know this business anymore. But this, make no mistake, this could be a death penalty case. They just don't get any more serious than that. You cross every T, you dot every I, you vet everything. So my suspicion is we are probably going to have a hearing on this. And there may be even in-camera hearings with the judge who's going to ask that attorney, tell me everything about every meeting your office had, and you in particular had, with those 3 parents of those 4 victims. It doesn't get more serious when you're talking about capital punishment. We're not there yet. They have not said capital punishment yet. That is a critical issue in this case. But I have to be honest, in my line of work, if you're going to have capital punishment, if you're going to have a death penalty, what do you have it for, if not for the kind of crime that Bryan Kohberger is accused of? That's coming up ahead. So I had a very important question for Cara Northington, Xana Kernodle's mother. When it comes to capital punishment, when it comes to the death penalty, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents were crystal clear. They wanted nothing short of a death penalty for Bryan Kohberger if he is convicted. So what about Cara Northington? She lost her daughter too. I want to play this part of the exclusive interview so that you can hear for yourself what she has to say.
What do you want to see happen to Bryan Kohberger?
I want to see him pay for what he's done. I'm not interested in a death penalty. That's not who I am. I don't believe in that. But I do think that he should spend the rest of his days in prison.
Do you plan to attend the hearings and his trial if there is one?
I haven't decided yet. If I will be able to do that.
So, Cara, what was your first reaction when you learned that your former attorney is representing the man accused of killing your daughter?
I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because I trusted her. She pretended that she was wanting to help me, and to find that out that she's representing him, I can't even convey how betrayed I feel.
Have you had a chance to speak with her about this?
No, I haven't spoken with her. I found out through a friend who found it on Reddit.
You found out through a friend through social media. You weren't notified by Ann Taylor, your attorney, herself?
Right now.
And have you tried to reach out to her?
No, I just found out today, literally. So, yeah.
So, I mean, just so many thoughts. It's so incredible that there is this connection. Are you going to try to fight this at all?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Because as I understand it, this would require a waiver, something that you sign and that he would sign in order for her to go ahead and be able to do this legitimately. I can imagine the way your reaction is that you are not interested in signing a waiver to allow her to continue on.
Right, exactly. And I'd already given her power of attorney. I'd already signed over power of attorney so that she could help me with getting into rehab and whatnot. And so, I mean, I don't understand how she could do this. I don't understand what happens now. Does she still have power of attorney, or what goes on now?
If you were able to say something to Bryan Kohberger, what message would you want to send? I just want to know why. I just want to know why. Why did he do this? Why did he take these kids? Why? What did they do to him? Because I can't imagine them doing anything that deserved for him to murder them.
Again, that's Cara Northington, Xana Kernodle's mother, speaking with us exclusively. And you heard what she said. She does not want to see the death penalty in this case against her daughter's accused killer. I think that's significant because prosecutors will confer with families about what they want to see. But there are 4 families here. There are 4 victims, and they all have a say. And so far, we've already heard from Kaylee Gonzalez's family that they 100% want the death penalty for Bryan Kohberger. So this will be a complicated process, not just for the prosecutors, but also for these families as they move forward in this. That is, if it ever gets to trial. I said that because we are still 6 months away, right, from the next hearing. And anything can happen. As in the case of Chris Watts, it was very quick. He took a deal and he went away for life. And that was that. Never had to hear from him again. I want to mention something that a lot of people on social media have been talking about. And I'm going to get very personal here, so just bear with me, if you will. There were a lot of people who were very upset that we ran this interview. And some of the comments that I read upset me because I look at Cara Northington as a woman who has admitted that she has struggled with addiction mightily. She admitted on television that she was in rehab and needed help from her attorney to get there. Her struggles are real. And the fact that she lost her daughter to a ghastly crime is real. And she is a victim in all of this. And she deserves a say. She deserves a say from the very get-go because she's been victimized as a family member of a murder victim. And I do not care where she spends her evenings or whether she's been in jail or whether she needed a public defender. She has a voice. She deserves to speak. And when this happened with her attorney, she 100% gets to speak. She has a dog in this fight because her attorney is now representing her daughter's accused killer. Let it sink in. She has a right to speak. She has a case. And I think Ann Taylor has explaining to do. And to that end, we called Ann Taylor's office. Understandably, she can't get back to me. There's a gag order in this case, so she can't respond. But at some point, she's going to have to respond. And for anyone out there who thinks this is somehow sinking the case against Bryan Kohberger, let me be honest with you. A conflict of interest for a death penalty case can overturn a case. So if you're worried about this, you should be. You should be worried that an attorney who is not fit to serve as an attorney because of a conflict should not be in a death penalty case, lest the state of Idaho wants to spend a whole bunch more money and a whole bunch more emotion to have to retry this case again. And I am pretty sure nobody wants that. Again, the gag order precludes Ann Taylor from speaking with us about it, but we did reach out nonetheless. There is a lot to unpack here, obviously. Unfortunately, we've got two of the best people to help me do that. Stacey Honowitz is a 34-year veteran of the Florida State Attorney's Office and the supervisor of the Sex Crimes and Child Abuse Unit. Ken Belkin is New York's criminal defense attorney. He currently gets cases assigned to him by a judge, and he defends them. He is on the assigned counsel panel. Stacey, as the prosecutor, I'd like you to go first here. Do you expect that the prosecutor in this particular case is going to put forth a motion pretty quickly to try to sort all of this out?
Well, I mean, you've covered it all in the very beginning. You've covered every issue that has to go on in this case, and it's about this conflict. So it's very rare that you see the prosecutor come forward and say there's a conflict, because we generally don't ever know about it. It's different in this case because everybody knows about it. You normally see the defense attorney come into court and tells the court, you need to assign a special public defender because we have a conflict. They are always the one that brings it up because, again, the prosecutor doesn't know anything, doesn't know the relationship between the clients, doesn't know how long they've met with the client, if they even met with the client. You know, you have to remember, in the public defender's office, just like in the state attorney's office, the cases are assigned. So we don't know, once that case was assigned, did that person actually go and see the client? Is it just a name on the list now that it's going to be a potential client? But in this case, evidently, she did spend time with this mother because she turned over some kind of power of attorney. She asked her to help her get into rehab. And so a prosecutor is going to say there is a conflict because that's a witness for me. And there's special confidences that you might know. And now you're representing the person that killed her daughter. So yes,
it's also, I mean, you know, Stacey, it's also just like the smell test too, right? Like everything that you just said, yes, but also just the smell test of pristine justice. And maybe, Ken, you can jump in here as well. Yesterday, I said it was one parent that had been represented by Ann Taylor. Now it's three parents of the deceased, of the murder victims, being represented by Ann Taylor, who's representing the murder defendant. So it gets worse. But I do have to ask you about the public defender system, because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe it was just a mix-up with the name Cara Northington, not Kernodle, and it turns out the warrant says Cara Kernodle. Very unique name, not easy to forget. But there are only 13 of these death-qualified public defenders in the state of Idaho. So take me from there and tell me where all of this could be an innocent mistake.
Well, sure. And this is what we call the appearance of impropriety. It's not clear a conflict exists, but it appears like there's something improper going on here. She represents the mother of a victim that was murdered by a man she now represents. Not only that, she represented that mother, two mothers, in fact, but one of those mothers she represented on 4 cases, one of which was currently pending now. A potential conflict has arisen. The person who potentially murdered her daughter is being hauled before the court, and she's been potentially being assigned to that case. What she should have done was to decline that representation. She did something the opposite. She's put in a notice of withdrawal of the victim's mother's case, which is totally improper. Because if a potential conflict arises, it doesn't mean the lawyer is served with a menu of options they can choose which client to represent. Conflict of interest laws are in place because there is a relationship already. There is an attorney-client relationship. Confidences have been conveyed. There is confidential material that's been shared, and you don't want to betray those confidences. You don't get to pick and choose which case you take on a conflict of interest. You stay with the existing relationship and you would decline the new one. That is the proper thing to do here, which it appears she did the exact opposite.
And Stacey, just weigh in again on how serious this is, right? Like, as I understand it, every jurisdiction is a little different. The judge could pull them in to chambers and say, tell me everything before this gets out in public. And I want to know every single meeting that you had with these three parents. But you tell me how it works.
Well, listen, every jurisdiction is different, and they will handle it the best way that they possibly can. But this is now on the news every single, it's been headlined all day today. So something has to take place. You're talking about a capital murder case, and everything you said is correct. You want to go in with clean hands. You don't want to try this case all over again. The worst thing you can do is to have the lawyer go in, try this case. And we knew that these conflicts existed. So a myriad of things can happen. The prosecutor can take it upon themselves to say, listen, judge, what's going on here? We need to have a hearing. You will have an in-camera hearing because nobody will ever be able to know what those confidences were unless the judge orders her to disclose who she spoke to and when and for how long. But the defense attorney is 100% right. It is the appearance right now. You've got two parents that have already met with her, had confidences with her, and now she's on this other case. So somebody somewhere is going to, drag them into court and let us know what's going on. She's got to be the one to tell why she did what she did.
So listen, this conversation continues. Stacey Honowitz and Ken Belkin, thank you both for your wisdom on this. It's just disturbing, upsetting. I hope they sort this out. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Ash.
Coming up, it is all about the evidence. And there is nothing like seeing a big old long gun being pulled out in the front of a courtroom. See that box? That's called the evidence box. The yellow tape cut and the gun brought in South Carolina today. What's the significance of?
Okay, so yeah, that was the end of that. Yeah, so I actually showed that earlier, Soothy Goosey. I was going to show it again too. I just didn't want to interrupt the thing, but I did find this earlier. Where the heck did I put it? Oh, there it is. I didn't get to read through like all of the charges and everything, but they did write her on the 5th, and they put it in her public record where it was like on her online record. So basically, like, everybody has, if you, whatever county you're in, you can look and see if you have like a record or whatever for that county. Your girl over here, Cara's got a little bit of a record. I mean, she just does. Let's just say it. She does. But they did let her know on the 5th, the 1st, it says, January 1st, that there was a substitution of counsel in there. So she wouldn't have had to go in to check. She wouldn't have to go into a police station and ask them. She wouldn't have to call the police station. She could just check the online portal, like right here. I don't understand. Let's see. I'm sorry. I was trying to read the chat a little bit. And that's my question is why? Okay. I've dealt with like I said before, I've dealt with power of attorneys. My mom had a power of attorney. She got it through the first time. I don't think it was through a lawyer. It was just like my aunt maybe notarized something in paper, or maybe she did. Maybe she did it through the court. No, she did do it through the court because we had to go back through the court to get it reversed. So then she did it again. I don't know why, but she did. So I just don't know why she gave her power of attorney over her. Like, out of all the people in the world, I haven't been the best in my whole life. I've had like minor incidences where it's always been speeding tickets and stupid crap. You know what I mean? But where I've like even had to have a public defender, and this just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I feel like if, I don't know that, but then again, I lived in a small town and that public defender probably defended like half of the town. And you don't, and he didn't get a, you don't get to pick and choose who you get either. Like you get a public defender, they stick you with a person. But if, let's say you're a repeat offender, they'll try to stick you with that same public defender because there is a base, like a history there. Do we know she actually did that though? We don't. I didn't see any of that in the paperwork. Yeah. And she did say, even like we were going over that, because I had wrote some notes from her first, like her first interview with her. Because I was like, you know, sometimes you like watch an interview and you have to watch it like a couple times before you start picking up on things. I was just picking up on things. She said she wants communication with the police. Well, we all know that's a lie. I mean, if she wanted that, she would have it. She could go anytime they're looking for her. She can go anytime she wants. I mean, I feel bad for her for what she's went through, but I feel like she needs to like do something about this and get this just like done with. I don't know. Who says she was the chief? Oh. Oh, I thought you did, Parker Marie. Okay, we need your. So why would someone give so what would you do if you were a like what's up with the power of attorney? Why would you give that to a lawyer? Because I know law firms can like draw it up and stuff, but why would you do that? Thank you for coming a member, Bill Long. I love your puppy. It's cute. Everyone has a puppy on their picture. Well, not like everybody, but a lot of people do. What do you have, Chowder? I have to look. A doggy. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. My friend had that costume for her dog. She did, and she did like it was a Instagram thing with it. It was so funny. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to show you guys that. I have no words for it really anymore. And I'm sure that they tried to contact her as well. I don't see them just saying like, bye, see ya, and not giving them another, her another lawyer, or them not telling her who the other lawyer is going to be, in this case. I guess we'll figure that all out. It's your French bulldog? Well, Chowder is the cutest dog ever. Oh my gosh. I had an English bulldog and they're really cute. Yeah, so she could get her into rehab. So I'm wondering, like, why couldn't Cara get herself into rehab? Was it like, okay, so maybe it was set up like in the courts. But even if that's the case, even if she set it up in the courts, like, hey, I'll go to rehab so I don't go to jail for, X amount of narcotics or whatever I have, I still just don't see them giving her power of attorney. When you give someone power of attorney, you're like signing over your life to them. You're signing over everything. I mean, it about killed my mother when she did it. I don't know why the hell she did it a second time, but she did. But really, I mean, they have total power of attorney. And like if she had total power, she had, the health. She had total power over her health, over her like her doctor's visits. Who like she could like be calling the cops on my mom and it wouldn't even be like she could like call the cops and my mom could be like, this isn't even true, like, and like, or like something like she never did that, but she could if she wanted to. What else could she do? She had so much to say in her whole life. What she could eat, what she could buy, because she had control of her money, her finances, her, her doctors. Thank you, Chowder. Oh, you're welcome. Taco, what a dog. That's so cute. Your dog is pretty cute. Well, okay, so we need, Let me see. I gotta go back up because now I'm like, I thought I saw someone up here. Parker Marie, she has her law license. We need to know. Maybe she's writing us. Oh, there's Bill. Look at that. I still like the puppy. I still have to look at it every time. What do you got? Oh, PB&J. Look at that. Can't go wrong with that. For her disability payments, she would get disability. What's her disability? What's Xana's mom's disability? Because if someone comes out of here and says it's because she's addicted to drugs, that's a disability now, then I don't know. Then I don't know. I don't know what to even say. Sorry, I hit the microphone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right, Lori. There are some different, POAs. Some are for financial, some medical, some everything. Yeah, my mom just had an everything. Even if she just had that sister anyway. Maybe it's so she can evade the prosecution. Something she can get also temporary disability for health. For health for what? For being addicted? For being an addict? Are you for reals? I think she went to sleep. She was falling asleep on us earlier, Miss Linda. Okay, so I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, I just don't. I don't. Your girl, woo-wee. We're just going to leave it at that. Welcome, be happy, and thanks. Yeah, look at that. And look at the puppies on there. More doggies, cute doggies. Yeah, well, I lost an eye. I am 50% metal. And we're not going to even talk about my mental health from what I've seen. And your girl can get it. So I do think, and I've tried and I haven't tried for a while. But so when I see people like get disability, like it's candy, like I'm sorry, it gets me a little in my feelings. Gets me in my feelings a lot a bit. Because I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm blunt. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. I just don't agree with that because I've been on both sides. I've seen addiction. I've seen it, guys. I've seen it bad. Both my parents were alcoholics. So I've seen addiction and I've seen what it can do. And I prayed every day they would get help. But if my mom straight told me like, I'm going to get disability because I'm an alcoholic, we would be sitting down and having a whole long talk about it. Like there'd be like a whole no. People should be able to get a disability for mental health. I do believe that. I just don't believe if I don't know. I do think drug addiction is a disease. I do think that, and I really do. But I just, oh man, I don't know. Maybe it's just things are just changing in the world, and I'm just not ready for that. So hers was for medical, so someone can make decisions for her medical care. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you would really have to trust somebody at the same time, to put your trust into them. Like they're going to take good care of you. Like there's not very many people in this world. There's two that I would do that for. My boyfriend and my brother, that I would put my total care in and, and say, here you go. Like, man. That's just so crazy. It's not a permanent thing. It's a temporary thing. See, they never even gave me temporary. Even when I was in the wheelchair, patch on my eyeball, didn't have an eye, none of it. They were, I think it was my age. I really do. And I think that they thought, and I have gotten a lot better. I think that they thought she's so young. You know, like, cause I was 27 or 28 when it happened. So you know, with me being so young, I think that they're like, me and my mom even talked about it. They're like, she's going to, like, you know, be fine. But what they don't realize is you put metal in, it's not like it comes out of your legs and you're just all better. It doesn't come out. Like, and there's not a lot of studies to show you how many, like, long-term effects of it. So I'm in California. No, it's not that easy except for addiction. Man, I'm about to move to California. Absolutely age. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Age has a lot to do with it, I think. My mom, because my mom got on it automatically. She was in a coma. She went in the hospital and she ended up being in a coma, and they, like, got her on it right away. But I am on Medicaid. So I'm very fortunate that I'm able to be on that. So as of right now, I don't make enough, which is good. Because, like, they really do help. It's better than, you know, nothing. I am going to go back to, I am going to do the disability. We talked about this on a live one time, and one of y'all yelled at me for not doing that. And I need to just schedule some doctor's appointments. That way, you know, it's all, like, on paper. Because as soon as I go to one doctor, they'll be like, oh, we want you to see 15. It's like, no. And I do have some pretty good care. So, Chowder, Medicaid is like, it's like medical insurance for people that don't make, like, a lot of money. So basically, when I was when I had my car accident, I wasn't working. I literally had just quit my job maybe a week before my accident. Maybe. I don't even know if it was that long. And so my mom said they didn't even have, like, the ink wasn't even dry, like, on the paperwork. Like, they were ready. They got me on Medicaid as soon as I flew in to Ohio State University. Because if the hospital doesn't get paid, you know, they want to get paid. And they saw me coming in, like, big dollar ticket, you know. So they got me on Medicaid. And so I have never really had to pay out of pocket for surgeries and stuff. So I've been extremely fortunate for that. Yeah. So that's why you'll never have to really see me doing any big fun wave racers or anything for any surgeries. I usually get taken care of. But at the same time, then that hurts me, because if I were to ever get married, then usually they put half of your pay. So they usually will take, like, both of your pays. And so I just don't want that. But at the same time, I love my boyfriend so much. So it's like medical wedding. So maybe we'll have a fake wedding where we, like, you know, do all the wedding stuff, but don't have the wedding. Yeah, she's just not leaving your murder case, but for the murder that killed my daughter. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on both sides of this. Like, I'm really on, like, I don't know. Both sides. I am going to do a live tomorrow at 10:15. I have some stuff wrote down. I want to talk about Dylan and why I think she did what she did that day. I'm going to go more in detail with it. I did talk about it one day on the live, but because I've had a very similar experience, not seeing what she saw, but PTSD experience, but like that. And I feel like maybe I could bring something to the table that maybe it'll, like, help you guys maybe understand a little, or maybe none of us will understand it at the end. But I wanted to get on, at least tell you and show you guys that NewsNation. Also, let me see. If you guys haven't liked the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. Once we hit 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do another giveaway, and I'm going to try to find me a Nancy cardboard cutout. I'm still on the Nancy cardboard cutout. Oh, thank you, Margot. You're so sweet. You were so sweet. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm really dying to have a Nancy back there. So, and also my wall we painted it, if you haven't noticed. So We are going to put my sign up whenever it comes, and it's going to look really nice, I think. So I can only thank you guys for that. I think that, yeah, people have to want to get clean. I know it seems like you do have to want to get clean. You do. Point blank, period. You're right. It's one of those things, but once you do, it's the best feeling ever, you know, because you're not waking up every morning thinking of that what you need or what you think you need. And oh man, I just feel bad. Yeah, my sympathies for the girls too. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Vincent picked that out. Yeah, I know. I probably won't. Because they probably won't ever take it from me. I mean, they haven't yet. And so, I mean, I wear a ring. He could wear a ring. We're fine. I've told him before. Oh, congratulations. That's like the biggest thing that you could ever do if you are an addict, or if you ever were an addict, or it's amazing. It's freaking incredible. I can't even explain it. I've had so many friends, and I've almost myself been needing to be in recovery. I have that personality, you know, where I could have went right to that bottle. Like, you know, my parents were both alcoholics, and you know, addiction runs in families and alcoholism runs in families. And to me, I wasn't going to do that. I said, hell no. So I did drink, you know, in my 20s, I went pretty hard after my dad passed, for like 22 to 26, I'd say. And then after 28, it became like non-existent. Just never did. Never really wanted to. So, but you know, if it's out there and I wanted to, I could, but your girl would be crazy. Also, yeah, so tomorrow I will see you guys at 10:15 a.m. So don't forget, we'll talk Idaho tomorrow. And then Saturday, maybe we'll do the members only either Saturday or Sunday, but we'll do something one of those days. But I will see you guys all in the next live. Oh, you said all yours wasn't listened. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it usually is too. Mine was like that whenever after my car accident. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I thought I had to go to the hospital. Well, I had to go to the hospital. I think it was like, I thought I broke my leg, or no, they thought I had a blood clot in my leg. So they wanted to do a Doppler, and I had like a cast on. Well, I thought I was going with my mom, and we'll just call this person like the devil, literally. So I knew I was going to have to spend time with this person, the devil, for a long time. So I thought, instead of taking, I'm being truthful with you guys, I said, if I'm going to be in this hospital for all these hours, I'm going to take 2 of my medications, but I'm going to take 4 instead of 2. Like, because it was like such a low dose. I was like, I'm just going to double my dose. So I did that. And then I was rushing around the house, and I was not in my mind, because after my accident, my brain was still trying to process thoughts and stuff. So it was kind of hard. And literally, I ended up taking my medication double, but it was like tripled. So I ended up at the hospital, like, not withdrawing, but overdosing. Not like, it wasn't like bad. I just wanted to sleep. So they let me sleep it off. But after that, I was like, no, not for me. So, but yes, but you guys have a good evening. Yes, I'm always honest with you guys. I always will be. I always will be honest. You guys are my titans. Thank you again so much. I will see you tomorrow morning. If you haven't, like I said, liked the video, please, that'd be so great. Also, if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, we are a pretty nice group here. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.